Hi, Joe La Bianca commenting on John 1:9. It's talking about Jesus, and it says that John the Baptist was not the light, but he was sent to bear witness of that light. In verse 9, that was the true light which lighteth every man that cometh into the world. Every man. This means that the true light is not in opposition to false lights, because every man in the world is lighted. It's not the lighted ones against the darkened ones. But there is a darkness that does not comprehend the light. What does this mean? The phrase cometh into the world is the answer. This limits the lightened ones to their arrival into the world or their birth. Every baby, every child, in fact, every person under the age of 20 years old is lighted by Jesus and without the guilt of sin. I will prove this with other Bible scriptures, so don't turn it off unless you're very insecure about your belief. I will first read Exodus 30:14. Everyone who is numbered in the census from 20 years old and upward shall give the Lord's offering. No offering was necessary for children under the age of 20 years old. Numbers 14:29 to 31. Your bodies will fall in the wilderness, all who were numbered in the census, everyone 20 years age or older, because you have grumbled against me. Surely none of you will enter the land in which I swore to settle you, except Caleb, son of Jephunneh, and Joshua, son of Nun. But I will bring your children, whom you said would become plunder, into the land you have rejected, and they will enjoy it. 20 years and older shall fall, but the children, those under 20 years, Joshua and Caleb, shall go into the promised land. They saw the giants in the land. They were afraid. They didn't believe in God. They said our children would be plundered. So God said, fine, you're not going in. But two wanted to fight, and that was Caleb and Joshua. They went in, and the children, those under the age of 20, the ones they were afraid that would be plundered, they would go in. Never fear for your children. God will take care of them. Now we'll go and we'll read Matthew 18:3. And Jesus said, truly I say unto you, unless you are converted and become like children, you will not enter the kingdom of heaven. Everyone talks about, you need to be converted. You need to convert. Okay. But Jesus here says, you need to be converted and become like children, or you will not enter the kingdom of heaven. Obviously, meaning children do enter the kingdom of heaven. Now I'll read Matthew 18:4. Whoever then humbles himself as a child, he is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. Equating children's humility with the great ones in heaven. Matthew 19:14. But Jesus said, let the children alone, and do not hinder them from coming to me, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these. So that is Jesus overtly saying that children go to heaven. It belongs to them. And John 9:35-41. But when Jesus heard that they had thrown him out, he found the man that he healed of blindness and said, "Do you believe in the Son of Man?" And he said, "Sir, tell me so I may believe in him." "You have already seen him," Jesus answered. "He is the one speaking with you." "Lord, I believe," he said, and he worshiped Jesus. Then Jesus declared, "For judgment I have come into the world, so that the blind may see, and those who see may become blind." Some of the Pharisees who were with him heard this and said, "Are we blind too?" They asked him, "Are we blind too?" Jesus replied, "If you were blind, you would not be guilty of sin. But since you claim you can see, your guilt remains." And children are innocent. So we go back to the first verse and we read it again with understanding. Jesus was the true light, which lighteth every man that cometh into the world. And at the age of 20, which is a sacred age to God, we become accountable. That is the age of accountability. And it doesn't change. It doesn't change, because if it did change, it would only get older, not younger. Because these 19-year-olds saw great miracles from God, and they were not more accountable for seeing them. They were in the best position to believe, and yet they were still without the responsibility of a person who reaches the age of 20. Today, many children are in complete darkness. They don't see God operating, intervening in human history. They have less of a chance to believe in many cases. So, many people will still not believe this, even though I've given many Bible verses. I even asked a person very close to me if they believe children go to hell, and they said yes. And that person should have told me something about that whole group of people that I was with. But I was blind back then. Thank you.